My puppy didn't eat you? Very strange, said small alien girl, while the beast only bared its teeth. The starship Aurora floated silently through the black sea of stars. Its hull reflected distant suns, and the hum of the engines filled the cabin with a steady rhythm. Captain Alina sat in her command chair, staring at the monitor. A planet appeared on the screen, a swirl of green and blue, untouched by any known civilization. She could feel the excitement in her chest. A new world meant new discoveries, new life, and perhaps answers to questions humans had long asked about the universe. The crew was equally tense, their eyes darting between the instruments and the viewports. They had traveled many light years, but this planet felt different. The readings were unusual. Life forms thrived here, but they moved and behaved in ways no human science had predicted. It was a world of possibilities and dangers. Alina gave the order to descend. The Aurora moved carefully, dipping through the upper atmosphere. Below, sprawling forests of towering trees stretched as far as the eye could see. The leaves shimmered in colors that seemed unreal, hues that no human painter could replicate. Birds or bird-like creatures glided between branches, their wings reflecting light like stained glass. Small rivers wound through the valleys, glowing faintly under the alien sunlight. The shuttle touched down on a clearing. Alina and a small team of explorers stepped out, their suits designed to withstand unknown environments. The air was breathable, warm, and smelled faintly sweet. The crew took cautious steps, scanning their surroundings. Every shadow could hide a predator, every rustle of leaves could be a warning. Suddenly, movement caught Alina's eye. A creature emerged from behind a tree. It was massive, easily 10 feet tall, covered in thick, dark fur. Its eyes gleamed with intelligence and caution, and sharp teeth glimmered as it bared them. The humans froze, their instincts screaming danger. Weapons were raised, though carefully. No one wanted to provoke the creature unnecessarily. But then a small figure appeared beside the beast. Alina blinked in disbelief. A girl, barely taller than a child on Earth, stepped forward confidently. Her skin was a soft green, her hair like silver threads catching the light. Her eyes were large and golden, filled with curiosity, not fear. She spoke in a voice melodic and clear, though incomprehensible to human ears. A translator device hummed and worked to make sense of her words. When it finally produced English, the words made the humans pause. "My puppy didn't eat you? Very strange." The humans looked from the girl to the beast. The beast only bared its teeth further, growling low in its throat. Alina could feel the power radiating from it. Its muscles tensed, ready to strike if provoked. But the girl didn't flinch. She tilted her head, studying the humans as if trying to understand what they were. Her expression was almost playful, but her eyes carried the weight of authority. Alina's heart pounded. She motioned her crew to stay calm and lowered her weapons slightly. The girl's words repeated in her mind. The puppy, the massive creature, was her pet, or her companion. And why did she seem surprised that it didn't attack? Slowly, Alina took a step forward, showing open hands to indicate no threat. She remembered all the training humans had gone through for first contact. Patience, calmness, and respect for life were key. "We mean no harm," she said, her voice steady. "We come in peace." The girl's eyes narrowed slightly, as if testing Alina's words. Then she nodded slowly. The beast's growl lowered but did not disappear. It was still wary. Alina sensed a strange bond between the girl and the beast, a connection humans had never experienced before. It was clear the creature was powerful and dangerous, yet it obeyed the girl implicitly. The forest around them seemed alive. Trees shifted slightly, leaves rustling in patterns that felt deliberate. Small glowing creatures darted between the foliage, watching the humans. Alina realized that this planet was not only home to the girl and the beast, but also to countless life forms that moved in harmony with each other. Humanity had never seen such a complex ecosystem. The alien girl took a few steps closer. "You are not afraid like others," her words translated. "You survive when most would fall." There was a strange reverence in her tone. Alina felt a shiver run down her spine. Humans had often been underestimated by other civilizations. It seemed here on this distant world they were being observed and judged in ways beyond mere curiosity. The beast shifted slightly, growling again, but its eyes remained fixed on Alina and her team. It was testing them, measuring their intentions. Alina's mind raced. She needed to understand these beings without angering them. She gestured to her communicator. "Can you show us how we can earn your trust?" The girl's lips curved into a small smile. Trust is earned. Observation is required first. You must show that you understand life, that you respect it, and that your courage is true. Alina realized that this was not a simple encounter. This was a test. The humans were being measured not just by strength or weapons, but by intelligence, empathy, and adaptability. She glanced at her crew. They all understood the silent command. They would need to prove themselves without fighting, without dominating. The alien girl turned and motioned toward the trees. The humans followed cautiously. As they moved, the ground shifted slightly. Vines lifted, making paths. Flowers opened in response to their presence. It was as if the planet itself was alive and aware of them. Alina felt a mix of awe and unease. This was no ordinary forest. It was a living entity, interacting with them in ways beyond human comprehension. Suddenly, a small creature scurried across their path, a four-legged animal glowing faintly, its eyes wide and curious. The humans stopped, not wanting to scare it. The alien girl laughed softly, a sound like wind chimes. See, not all life fears you, some are curious. But you must learn the difference between curiosity and danger. Alina nodded, understanding the lesson. Humans often relied on technology and weapons. Here, survival required observation, understanding, and quick thinking. She remembered every story of explorers who had underestimated alien worlds, only to face disaster. This planet was beautiful, yes, but it was also unforgiving. The massive beast followed closely, its steps silent but deliberate. Alina sensed it was more than a pet, it was a guardian. Its loyalty to the girl was absolute, but it was ready to strike if necessary. Humans had never faced something like this. They were used to animals that could be tamed or predicted. Here, instinct and intelligence were combined in a way that challenged everything they knew. Hours passed as the humans walked through the forest. The alien girl guided them, showing subtle signs and gestures. She communicated with her puppy, and the beast responded instantly, obeying commands with precision. Alina watched closely. Humans were fast learners, but this was beyond their experience. The bond between the girl and her companion was a level of connection that humans could only admire. Eventually, they reached a clearing. Sunlight poured through the trees, illuminating the grass in a golden haze. The girl paused and looked at Alina. You are clever, but cleverness is not enough. Courage is tested in action and wisdom in thought. Are you prepared for both? Alina straightened, feeling the weight of the question. We are, she replied firmly. Her crew echoed her determination. They had trained for years for first contact situations, but nothing could prepare them for this moment. The alien girl's eyes gleamed with interest, and the beast lowered its stance slightly, observing the humans with cautious attention. For the first time, Alina felt something she rarely felt in space, hope mixed with fear. Hope, because humanity had the chance to prove itself to beings far beyond their understanding. Fear, because the consequences of failure were unimaginable. One wrong move could lead to death, or worse, the destruction of their chance to make friends and allies in the galaxy. The alien girl took a deep breath and looked at the humans. Tomorrow you will be tested, not with weapons but with choices. Life is not always what it seems. Your strength will be shown in how you protect, how you understand, and how you survive without harming what should not be harmed. Alina nodded, understanding. We will be ready. As the sun began to set over the forest, casting long shadows across the ground, the humans made camp near the clearing. They kept their equipment close, but respected the space of the girl and her guardian. The beast lay nearby, its massive head resting on its paws, yet its eyes never left the humans. It was a silent reminder of the power present on this planet and the lessons humanity would need to learn. That night, Alina looked up at the stars through the forest canopy. She reflected on the journey that had brought humanity here. Across countless light years, humans had faced adversity, adapted, and survived. Here, on a strange world, they would face challenges that would test not just their strength but their minds and hearts. And yet, for the first time in a long while, she felt a surge of pride. Humanity had a way of surviving, of adapting, and of rising to challenges no one could predict. The alien girl sat near her beast, eyes closed in meditation, as if sensing the human's thoughts. The creature made a soft sound, a low vibration that seemed to resonate with the forest itself. Alina realized then that this encounter was more than discovery. It was a chance for humans to show their essence. Their courage, intelligence, and empathy qualities that even the galaxy's most advanced civilizations often underestimated. The night passed with strange sounds and lights from the forest. Humans slept in shifts, ever vigilant, yet the sense of wonder never left them. Tomorrow they would face tests. Tomorrow they would show whether humanity's reputation as clever, adaptable, and brave was deserved. And in the quiet of that alien forest, watched by a small girl and her massive, mysterious companion, humans prepared to step into a challenge unlike any they had faced before. And as the first light of dawn touched the forest floor, the alien girl opened her eyes, and the beast rose, muscles coiling with anticipation. Humanity was about to discover that on this world, being clever and brave might be the difference between survival and oblivion. But that was exactly what they were best at. The first rays of sunlight filtered through the dense alien forest, casting long shadows across the clearing. Captain Alina woke to the sounds of the forest, the rustle of leaves, distant calls of creatures, and the low, rumbling growl of the massive beast that had been their silent companion since arrival. The alien girl, small and graceful, was already awake, sitting cross-legged near the creature, her eyes closed in meditation. Alina carefully rose and checked her team. Everyone was alert, senses sharpened by the unknown. This world was beautiful, but beauty often masked danger. They had already learned that the girl and her puppy were not ordinary beings. Trust here was not given, it was earned. And earning it would require more than weapons or training. It would demand observation, intelligence, and courage. The alien girl opened her eyes and looked at the humans. Her golden gaze seemed to pierce into their thoughts. The beast stirred beside her, its fur bristling, but its posture remained obedient and restrained. The girl spoke slowly, words translated by their device. Today you will be tested, not with swords, not with fire, with understanding, choices, and survival. The forest watches, and so do I. The first challenge begins now. Alina nodded. We are ready. Her voice carried firmness and calm, though inside her heart, a mixture of fear and excitement churned. The girl smiled faintly, then waved her hand, signaling for the humans to follow deeper into the forest. The crew stepped cautiously, each movement careful, scanning the trees and undergrowth. Birds with translucent wings glided overhead, their soft calls echoing like whispers. Small glowing insects flew in intricate patterns, illuminating paths in the dim light. Every step seemed observed, every glance measured. Humans were walking into a world that seemed alive in a way no computer could predict. After several minutes, the girl stopped in front of a large tree. Its trunk was thick and twisted, covered with vines that glowed faintly. A soft hum filled the air, almost like a vibration resonating through the ground. The alien girl knelt and touched the tree, closing her eyes. The beast pressed its massive head against her shoulder, growling low, as if warning against intrusion. Alina approached slowly. "What is this?" she asked. The girl opened her eyes and spoke. "Life is not only what you see. Energy, balance, and choice govern survival here. This tree is a sentinel. It responds to those who approach with respect, and it tests those who do not." Alina glanced at her team. "How do we pass the test?" "You show understanding," the girl said. "Observe without destruction, notice without taking, speak with your actions, not your weapons." The humans exchanged glances. This was unlike any training they had experienced. No drills, no simulations. Just a test of mind, patience, and perception. Alina took a deep breath and nodded. She extended her hand toward the tree, careful not to touch it abruptly. Slowly, she traced a finger along a glowing vine. A faint warmth traveled through her hand, and she felt something almost like a pulse, a rhythm matching her own heartbeat. The girl's eyes widened slightly, approving. "Good, now watch the creatures, learn their ways, then act when needed." Suddenly, a rustle from the trees startled the crew. Small, agile creatures, each no larger than a human child, darted through the underbrush. They had long limbs, large eyes, and soft, glowing patterns across their bodies. One of them leaped onto a branch above Alina, staring curiously. The humans froze. Any sudden movement could provoke them. Alina remembered the girl's instructions: observation first, understanding second, no unnecessary action. Slowly she knelt, keeping her hands visible and calm. The creature tilted its head, studying her. Then it jumped lightly onto the ground, sniffed near her boots, and scampered off without harm. "Observation is the first lesson," the girl's voice said. "Not all that moves is dangerous. Some are guides, some are warnings. Discernment is key." The humans continued deeper into the forest. They encountered small streams with water that shimmered like liquid crystal. Alina bent to examine it. The water was safe, yet it emitted a faint energy signature. Her science instruments picked up low-level vibrations. "This water, it's alive," she murmured. Her crew gathered around, amazed. The alien girl nodded. "Yes, life exists in many forms. Not all breathe air, not all eat as you do. Respect the rules of each, and survival is possible. Harm without understanding leads to destruction." Suddenly, the ground shook slightly. The massive beast stepped forward, muscles coiling as its growl intensified. Trees swayed violently, and from the shadows emerged something larger and more menacing than the previous creatures, predators of the forest. They had multiple limbs, armored skin, and glowing eyes. Their movement was coordinated, intelligent, as though they were hunting together. The humans instinctively reached for their weapons, but Alina remembered the girl's words. They were being tested, not attacked. She held up her hands. "Hold, let's see what they do." The predators stopped a few meters away. They circled, watching. The girl stepped forward, whispering something in her language. The beast growled, and then, unexpectedly, the predators halted and backed away. Alina's translator gave her the meaning. The girl had communicated a warning without a single weapon, a single threat. She had controlled the situation with presence, intelligence, and authority. Alina's mind raced. Humanity had relied on weapons for centuries, yet here, sheer courage, empathy, and understanding were stronger. The lesson was clear. Survival in this world required more than firepower. It required thought, patience, and respect. The alien girl led them further into the forest. They reached a clearing surrounded by enormous trees. Sunlight poured through in golden beams. Here, dozens of creatures of all shapes and sizes observed them silently. The girl gestured for Alina to step forward. "You have survived the first trial, but the day is not done. The next test is choice." Alina's heart raced. "Choice?" she asked. "Yes. You will face situations where your decision can save life or risk it. Humans often act with weapons. Here you must act with mind and heart. You must understand balance. You may make mistakes, but learn from them. Do you accept this?" Alina nodded firmly. "We do." The girl motioned toward a dense thicket. Within, a small creature was trapped in glowing vines. It struggled to break free but only became more entangled. Alina stepped forward instinctively, reaching for it. The alien girl raised her hand. "Wait, observe first." Alina froze, studying the creature. Its movements were frantic. If she acted without thought, she might harm it. Slowly, she examined the vines. They pulsed gently, reacting to touch. She realized brute force would worsen the situation. She carefully moved her hands in precise motions, mimicking the rhythm of the vines. After tense moments, the creature was free, leaping away and pausing to watch Alina with bright eyes. The girl's face broke into a small smile. "Good, you acted with understanding. Compassion guided your choice. Strength alone is not enough." The humans felt a surge of pride, but they also understood the lesson. Their survival depended on intelligence, observation, and heart. Their weapons, though powerful, were secondary here. This world required humans to think differently, to adapt, and to respect the delicate balance of life. The day continued with more challenges. They encountered rivers filled with luminous fish that emitted energy pulses. Crossing required understanding the currents, timing, and rhythm of the creatures. They navigated without harm, learning patterns, communicating with subtle gestures. Each success reinforced the lesson. Humans could adapt, and they could thrive not through dominance but through empathy and intelligence. Hours passed, and the sun began to sink. Shadows stretched long across the forest floor. The alien girl led the humans back to the clearing where the beast rested. "You have learned today that courage, intelligence, and compassion are as strong as any weapon. The forest watches and judges, but you have shown respect. This is why the puppy did not eat you." Alina looked at the massive creature. It lowered its massive head, eyes calm, no longer threatening. She understood then, the beast had tested them as the girl had and found them worthy. Humanity, often underestimated, had proven its strength through restraint, wisdom, and care. As night fell, the humans set camp near the clearing. They were tired but exhilarated. They had survived their first true test on this alien world, learning that survival here was as much about mind and heart as body and weapon. The alien girl sat nearby, her hands resting on the beast's fur, observing silently. Alina realized that tomorrow would bring more challenges. each testing their courage and adaptability in ways no human had ever imagined. For now, they rested under alien stars, their minds alive with wonder and determination. Humanity had survived the first test, and they were ready for the next. The forest whispered around them, alive, aware, watching. And humanity, small but unyielding, had begun to prove why it should never be underestimated. The night passed uneventfully, but the humans remained vigilant. Every crackle of leaves, every whisper of wind set their nerves on edge. Captain Alina knew that surviving the first test had given them confidence, but it was only the beginning. The alien girl had warned that the challenges ahead would be harder. The forest was alive, and intelligence here was measured not just in power, but in thought, speed, and empathy. Dawn arrived in a blaze of orange and pink light. The humans rose and gathered near the clearing. The alien girl and her massive companion awaited them. The beast stretched, its muscles rippling under thick fur, but its eyes remained calm. The girl's voice, translated, rang clear. "Today you will see why survival is not just skill, it is strategy. You will face those who would take life without thought, and you will choose how to act." Alina glanced at her crew. The tension in their shoulders was palpable. They had learned to observe, to understand, and to act with care, but now they were being asked to combine everything they had learned and apply it in real danger. They were about to face beings that did not follow the rules of empathy or fairness. From the treetops above, a low rumble reached them. Then streaks of dark shapes cut across the sky. The humans squinted. Alien ships, sleek, metallic, and bristling with unknown weapons, descended from orbit. Their designs were sharp, angular, and intimidating. Alina's pulse quickened. This was no test from the girl, this was a real attack. The alien girl's golden eyes hardened. She spoke rapidly, and the translator worked to keep up. "These are the invaders. They take without thought. They destroy what they do not understand. You will be judged by how you act. They will not wait, so choose carefully." The beast growled low, a sound that reverberated through the clearing. It was no longer playful or testing. They could sense its alertness, its readiness to strike at a moment's notice. The humans felt the weight of the moment. They had survived the forest's tests, but now survival depended on strategy, intelligence, and courage under immediate threat. Alina moved to the front. "Team, weapons ready, but don't act recklessly. Observe, understand, and act as one." The girl's teachings matter now more than ever. Her crew nodded. They had trained for countless combat scenarios, but this was unlike anything they had seen. The invaders, ships unleashed pulses of energy that tore through the ground where they had landed earlier. Trees exploded into sparks and the forest trembled. The alien girl lifted her hand, and the beast moved in front of her. Its massive size alone was intimidating, but what followed stunned the humans. The beast's eyes glowed faintly, and a wave of psychic energy rippled through the clearing. The invaders' machines shuddered, their controls flickering as if reality itself resisted their presence. The humans realized that the girl and her companion had powers far beyond simple strength. They could manipulate the environment, influence technology, and anticipate actions. Alina quickly analyzed the situation. "They are powerful, yes, but they underestimate us. They see humans as fragile, slow, and weak. That is their mistake. If we coordinate, we can exploit it." The humans spread out, using the forest as cover. They observed the invaders' movements, noting patterns and weaknesses. Weapons were ready, but firing without thought could provoke a response they could not control. Alina gestured to her team, and silently they communicated strategies, relying on instincts honed over years of training and experience. The invaders moved cautiously, trying to gauge the humans' actions, but humans are unpredictable. Alina signaled, and her team used the terrain cleverly, cutting off energy pulses with reflective surfaces, using natural cover to advance, and distracting the invaders with controlled movements. Each action was calculated, each response precise. The alien girl's puppy charged suddenly, a blur of immense power. It knocked aside a small group of invaders with precise force, sparing life where it could, but showing that harm would come swiftly if needed. Alina watched closely, realizing that humans must act in harmony with this strange guardian. She sent a small team to flank the invaders, using signals and hand gestures she had perfected during training. The invaders were confident that strength alone would defeat humans, but humans had something they could not calculate: adaptability. When one invader's ship fired a pulse aimed to scatter the humans, Alina's team used trees and vines to reflect and absorb the energy. When another attempted a direct strike, they anticipated it, moving in patterns designed to confuse the attackers. The battle continued, but it was not a battle of sheer force. It was a dance, a test of mind and instinct. Humans moved with precision, making choices that minimized harm to the forest, respected the alien girl's creatures, and maximized survival. The invaders began to falter, frustrated by beings they thought fragile, yet who responded with creativity, coordination, and courage. At one point, an invader landed directly in front of Alina. Its armor was thick, its weapon aimed, ready to fire. Alina froze briefly, then remembered the girl's teachings. Survival here was more than firing first. She acted. With a swift motion, she rolled behind a tree, causing the invader to misfire. Then, using a nearby vine and her team's support, they disarmed it, capturing the invader without lethal force. The alien girl's eyes shone with approval. She spoke softly, and the beast growled in agreement. Your strength is in thought, not destruction. You act not only to survive, but to protect life. That is rare among beings I have observed. Alina's heart raced. The humans were performing well, but the invaders were relentless. More ships landed, more energy pulses tore through the forest, and the rhythm of the fight became chaotic. Yet humans adapted. They used the forest to their advantage, setting traps with natural materials, predicting invader movements, and coordinating silently. Their ingenuity was beyond what the invaders expected. The alien girl moved among them, guiding subtle shifts in the battle. She communicated through gestures, her companion acting as both shield and sword. But the humans were no longer just observers. They were active participants, using everything they had learned from Earth and their experiences in space. Alina spotted a critical moment. An invader ship prepared to launch a devastating pulse that could destroy the clearing entirely. She calculated the timing, coordinating with her team and the girl's companion. Using reflective surfaces, vines, and careful placement, they redirected the pulse, sparing life and using the invaders' own energy against them. The humans cheered silently, though the battle was far from over. The invaders, growing desperate, attempted a frontal assault, expecting humans to break under pressure. But humans had proven adaptable, intelligent, and fearless. They moved with coordination, striking strategically, avoiding unnecessary harm, and leveraging every advantage. Even the massive beast worked in tandem with them, a bridge between alien power and human ingenuity. Hours passed. The invaders began to retreat, their ships faltering under unexpected tactics. Alina watched as humans, small and seemingly weak, pushed back a technologically superior force through intelligence, courage, and adaptability. The alien girl nodded, her golden eyes reflecting pride and relief. When the last invader retreated into the sky, the clearing was silent except for the heavy breathing of humans and the soft growl of the beast. Trees had been damaged, and the forest bore scars from energy pulses, but no life was lost unnecessarily. Humanity had survived. Not just survived, but prevailed. The alien girl approached Alina. Your people are remarkable, she said. You have strength beyond muscle, beyond weapons. You have heart, mind, and courage. Few beings in the universe combine all three. The forest has judged, and the invaders have learned that humans are not to be underestimated. Alina exhaled, feeling a weight lift from her shoulders. Her team gathered around, sharing quiet smiles of relief. They had faced a real threat, something far beyond what they had expected, and they had prevailed without losing their values. The lesson was clear. Humanity's ingenuity, empathy, and courage made them formidable, even in the face of unknown and superior forces. The alien girl knelt and placed a hand on the massive beast. Your companion has judged you as worthy. Survival here depends not only on strength, but on understanding and adaptation. You have shown both. Alina looked at the beast, whose eyes softened as it regarded the humans. They had faced judgment, challenge, and real danger and had passed. Humanity, fragile in appearance but unyielding in spirit, had proven its worth. As night fell again, the humans rested under alien stars, their minds alive with the events of the day. They had faced invaders who sought to destroy and conquer, yet they had survived through strategy, intelligence, and courage. They had learned that in the universe, power alone was not enough. Wisdom, empathy, and adaptability could tip the balance even against superior technology. Alina gazed at the alien girl. "We have much to learn," she said. The girl smiled faintly. "And you have much to show the universe. Today you proved that even when underestimated, humans can rise, adapt, and survive. Tomorrow will test endurance and endurance alone. But today you have learned that the mind and heart are as strong as any weapon." The humans looked at each other, exhausted but exhilarated. They had fought, observed, adapted, and survived. They had faced beings who assumed humans were weak, fragile, and predictable, and had shattered that assumption. And as the forest whispered around them, alive and aware, the humans knew they were beginning to carve their place in this strange and powerful world. The lessons of courage, strategy, and empathy would guide them, and the galaxy would soon learn that humanity was not to be underestimated. The night air hung heavy with tension. The humans had survived the invaders' first assault, but Captain Alina knew the challenge was far from over. The alien girl and her massive beast companion had shown the power of strategy, intelligence, and psychic influence. Yet the humans sensed something deeper. Tomorrow would not just test skill, but endurance and moral courage. As dawn broke, golden light streamed through the canopy of towering alien trees. The forest was eerily quiet. Alina's team gathered near the clearing, scanning the surroundings with heightened alertness. The alien girl stood at the edge of the clearing, her eyes golden and calm, yet focused. The beast's massive form shifted beside her, muscles taut and ready. The events of the previous day had cemented a silent bond between humans and their alien allies. They had survived through observation, understanding, and clever strategy. But now the stakes would rise. The girl's voice echoed in soft tones, translated for the humans. "Today you will face endurance and choice. Some tests require patience, others require sacrifice. Not all will be easy and not all choices will be clear. Are you ready to learn the limits of courage?" Alina's heart raced, but she answered firmly. "We are ready." Her team nodded in agreement. They had been tested before, but this was unlike anything they had experienced, something that could challenge not just their strength, but their hearts and minds. Without warning, a low hum vibrated through the forest. The humans froze, feeling the energy in the air shift. From the shadows, a group of invaders emerged, more intelligent, faster, and coordinated than the first wave. But this time, they carried captives. Among them was one of the alien girl's smaller companions, a creature similar to the glowing animals they had observed earlier. It struggled, frightened, its energy pulsing erratically as the invaders attempted to control it. The alien girl's eyes blazed with intensity. "They have taken one of my own. You must act carefully. Attack without thought will endanger the creature. You must free it without causing harm." Alina's team moved swiftly but cautiously. The forest provided cover, but the invaders were alert. Every movement was calculated. Each decision could mean life or death. They remembered yesterday's lesson. Strategy, intelligence, and empathy were their greatest weapons. Brute force alone would not succeed. The alien girl whispered instructions, and the beast moved silently to flank the invaders. Its psychic presence distorted the air, causing confusion among their ranks. The humans observed, planning a precise maneuver. Alina realized that timing was critical. A single misstep could harm the captive and endanger them all. Using subtle hand signals, Alina directed her team. One human drew the invaders' attention, moving as though vulnerable, while another approached the captive from the side. They used vines and natural obstacles to shield their movements. The invaders fired, energy pulses scattering harmlessly against the forest's defenses, while the beast lunged with precision, knocking an attacker aside without causing permanent harm. Alina's pulse quickened as she reached the captive. The creature trembled, emitting soft sounds of fear and distress. She extended a hand slowly, mimicking the rhythm of the alien's energy pulses, just as she had learned from observation. The captive paused, then relaxed slightly, sensing no threat. With careful coordination, Alina and her team freed the creature from the invaders' restraints. The invaders reacted instantly, rushing to regain control. Alina signaled her team, and they moved as one, using the forest's natural terrain to their advantage. Trees and vines became barriers, obstacles, and distractions. Humans, small and seemingly fragile, maneuvered with skill and ingenuity, exploiting the invaders' overconfidence and lack of patience. The alien girl's companion charged at a critical moment, using psychic force to knock invaders off balance. Energy pulses misfired as the invaders struggled to adapt. The humans moved swiftly, combining strategy, timing, and empathy. Every choice counted. Mistakes could endanger the captive or themselves. Hours passed in a tense blur. The humans had to make decisions that tested not only their intelligence but their moral courage. One invader attempted to harm the captive despite the humans' careful maneuvering. Elena had to act decisively. She launched a device that emitted a disorienting pulse, stunning the invader long enough for the team to subdue it safely. No lethal force was used, but the action required precision, timing, and unshakable focus. By midday, the last invader retreated, leaving the humans, the captive, and their alien allies victorious. The creature, now free, nuzzled the alien girl's hand and emitted a soft glow of relief. The alien girl's eyes glimmered with admiration. You have shown endurance, intelligence, and courage. You understand that strength alone does not define survival. Choice, empathy, and adaptability are your true power. Elena exhaled, feeling the weight of the day lift slightly. Her team gathered around, exhausted but exhilarated. They had faced an enemy that relied on brute force and advanced technology, yet humans had prevailed through observation, careful planning, and compassion. The lesson was clear. True strength was more than physical might. It was the ability to act wisely, with courage and empathy guiding every choice. But the day was not yet over. The alien girl led the humans deeper into the forest, where challenges awaited that were unlike anything they had faced before. They encountered a river with currents that pulsed unpredictably, shimmering with strange energy. Crossing it required patience, observation, and timing. One misstep could have thrown them into dangerous rapids, or worse, drawn the attention of lurking predators. Elena studied the river carefully, noting patterns in the energy pulses. She instructed her team to move slowly, synchronize their steps, and use natural debris to stabilize their crossing. The alien girl watched silently, her golden eyes reflecting pride and anticipation. The massive beast led the way, testing the currents and creating safe paths. The humans moved in unison, crossing successfully without harm. Their cohesion, intelligence, and careful observation had turned a dangerous obstacle into a manageable challenge. The alien girl nodded approvingly. Endurance is not only physical. It is mental, emotional, and moral. You have shown all three today. As they continued, a sudden quake shook the forest. Trees bent and leaves fell as if warning of a new challenge. The invaders had regrouped and returned, this time coordinating attacks to force the humans into errors. Elena realized that the next test would combine endurance, quick thinking, and moral decision-making under pressure. The invaders' strategy was to corner the humans and the alien girl, forcing a confrontation that would leave no option for careful maneuvering. But humans adapted quickly. Using the forest terrain, they split into multiple teams, each responsible for a different task. One distracting the invaders, one guiding the alien girl and her companion, and one preparing traps to redirect energy pulses harmlessly. The invaders underestimated human coordination. They expected panicked reactions, not intelligent adaptation. As the humans moved, the forest itself seemed to assist, branches shifting subtly, vines adjusting, and even the ground responding to careful placement. Elena realized that their earlier actions had earned the forest's trust, much like the alien girl's companion had accepted them. One invader managed to reach a critical point, aiming to capture another small creature. Elena acted instantly, throwing a carefully timed device that emitted a light pulse, disorienting the invader and giving the captive a chance to escape. The invader stumbled, and the humans moved to subdue it safely. Every choice had to be precise. One miscalculation could have caused chaos or harm. Hours of tense maneuvering followed, with humans continuously adapting to unpredictable threats. Their ingenuity, courage, and empathy allowed them to survive where brute force would have failed. Finally, the last invader retreated, overwhelmed by humans' unexpected skill, strategy, and cohesion. The alien girl approached Elena. Her golden eyes shone with respect. "You have exceeded all expectations. You have endured physical challenges, moral dilemmas, and strategic battles. Few beings can combine intelligence, courage, and empathy in such harmony. Today, you have proven that humans are capable of greatness." The massive beast lowered its head, acknowledging the humans' skill and bravery. The smaller creatures gathered around, their soft glows pulsing in rhythm with the human's heartbeat. Alina felt a sense of pride and relief. Humanity had faced its first true test of endurance and moral courage, and had prevailed without sacrificing its values. As night fell, the humans rested, their minds alive with reflection. They had learned lessons no training could teach: patience under pressure, empathy for creatures weaker than themselves, and the power of intelligence combined with courage. They had faced superior technology, coordinated attacks, and moral dilemmas, and had proven that their greatest strength lay not in weapons but in their hearts and minds. Alina looked at the alien girl. "We have learned much," she said quietly. The girl smiled, her golden eyes filled with warmth. "And you have shown much. Humanity's power is not only in survival but in choice, courage, and compassion. Tomorrow will bring tests that challenge endurance further, but today you have proven why you are remarkable." The humans gazed at the forest, alive with whispers of unseen life. They had faced judgment, danger, and moral tests, and had emerged wiser, stronger, and more united. Humanity had begun to earn a reputation that even the galaxy would come to respect. The night passed under alien stars, quiet and serene. The humans were ready for the next challenge, aware that every choice, every action would continue to test their courage and ingenuity. And as the alien girl and her massive companion watched over them, the humans knew that their journey had only begun, and that their spirit would define the fate of this strange and powerful world. The sun rose slowly over the alien forest, casting long shadows across the clearing. Captain Alina and her team had survived tests of observation, strategy, and moral courage. They had endured physical challenges, faced invaders, and learned to act with intelligence and empathy. Yet today, the air felt heavier, charged with anticipation. The alien girl stood at the edge of the clearing, her golden eyes focused and calm. The massive beast shifted beside her, its muscles coiled and ready. Alina knew this would be the final test, the one that would determine not only survival but recognition. The lessons of the previous days, careful observation, strategic thinking, moral choice, and endurance would all be put to the ultimate challenge. This was not about defeating a single enemy. This was about proving that humanity, often underestimated, could rise above impossible odds through courage, intelligence, and heart. The alien girl spoke, her words translated clearly. "Today you will face the ultimate challenge. Life and death, choice and action, courage and intelligence. You will need every lesson learned. Are you ready?" Alina's heart pounded, but she stood tall. "We are ready," she said firmly. Her team nodded, determination burning in their eyes. They had survived every trial the forest had presented. Now they would prove their worth to the alien girl, her companion, and the universe itself. From the trees, a distant rumble began to grow, quickly intensifying. The ground vibrated underfoot. The humans turned to see a massive force approaching, invaders, larger in number and better armed than before. They had learned from their previous mistakes and were determined to overwhelm the humans and the alien girl's forces. This time, the attack was relentless. Energy pulses tore through the forest, flattening trees and sending showers of glowing sparks into the air. Alina's mind raced. They could not face these forces with brute force alone. They would have to combine strategy, intelligence, and the lessons they had learned over the past days. She signaled her team to spread out and take positions. Observation first, understanding second, action last. Every move had to be precise, coordinated, and intentional. The alien girl raised her hand, and the massive beast surged forward. Its presence was immense, and the invaders hesitated, sensing the power it radiated. Then, without warning, it struck, not recklessly, but with precision. It knocked invaders aside, creating space for the humans to maneuver. Alina watched closely, learning how to use the beast's abilities in combination with their own tactics. Alina divided her team into small squads. One would focus on redirecting energy pulses using reflective surfaces and natural terrain. Another would flank the invaders and disrupt their formations. A third would protect the alien girl and her smaller companions. Coordination, communication, and timing were crucial. The invaders pressed forward, confident in their superiority. They expected humans to panic or be overwhelmed. Instead, the humans moved like a single organism, responding to threats with intelligence and adaptability. When one invader attempted to strike a tree that the humans were using as cover, Another human triggered a carefully placed device that reflected the energy pulse harmlessly into the sky. The alien girl watched silently, her expression calm but intense. She understood that humans were learning quickly, applying lessons of observation, strategy, and empathy in real time. The massive beast moved in perfect sync with Alina's team, striking at precise moments, creating openings, and protecting vulnerable points. Humans and alien allies moved as one, a coordinated force that combined intelligence, courage, and adaptability. Hours passed in tense combat. The invaders were relentless, using superior technology and brute strength to try and overwhelm the humans. But humans adapted at every turn. They used the forest terrain, natural obstacles, and clever devices to counter attacks. They anticipated enemy movements, coordinated flanking maneuvers, and protected the alien girl and her companions with unwavering focus. At one critical moment, a group of invaders surrounded a small creature, one of the alien girl's companions. Alina saw it and acted instantly. Using a combination of timing, devices, and precise movement, she disrupted the invaders' formation and freed the creature without harm. Her team followed, protecting the creature as it darted back to safety. The alien girl's golden eyes glimmered with approval. "This is why humans are remarkable," she said softly. "You combine strength with wisdom, courage with empathy. Few beings in the universe can act with such balance under pressure." The battle escalated further. The invaders unleashed a massive pulse aimed to destroy the clearing and everyone within it. Alina assessed the situation quickly. She instructed her team to use every reflective surface and natural barrier available. Carefully, they redirected the pulse toward the invaders' own forces, creating confusion and halting the attack. The humans moved with speed and precision, never harming life unnecessarily, yet neutralizing the threat effectively. The alien girl's beast lunged at the most dangerous invaders, striking with force but avoiding lethal harm wherever possible. Its psychic presence disrupted the invaders' coordination, giving the humans a crucial advantage. Alina realized that humans were no longer reacting. They were controlling the battlefield with strategy, intelligence, and heart. As the invaders began to falter, the humans executed a final maneuver. Using a combination of devices, timing, and coordination with the alien girl and her companion, they encircled the remaining invaders, cutting off escape routes and neutralizing threats without unnecessary destruction. The invaders, frustrated and overwhelmed by beings they had underestimated, retreated into the sky, leaving the forest silent once more. The humans exhaled, exhausted but victorious. They had faced superior technology, coordinated attacks, and overwhelming odds, and had prevailed through intelligence, courage, and empathy. The alien girl approached Alina and her team, her golden eyes reflecting admiration and respect. "You have shown every lesson the forest can teach," she said. "Observation, strategy, moral courage, endurance, and adaptability. You have proven that humans are more than survival, they are capable of greatness." The massive beast lowered its head, nuzzling Alina gently. Even its immense size could not hide the approval in its eyes. The smaller creatures gathered around, glowing softly in recognition of the humans' achievement. Alina felt a deep sense of pride. Humanity had proven itself not through force alone, but through the combination of mind, heart, and courage. The alien girl knelt beside Alina. "Your kind has often been underestimated. Today, you have shown that even when fragile in appearance, you possess intelligence, courage, and compassion that can rival any being in the universe. The invaders have learned that humans are not to be dismissed, nor are they to be underestimated." Alina looked at her team. Their faces were tired but shining with exhilaration. They had faced true danger, complex moral choices, and strategic challenges, and had emerged victorious. This moment would stay with them forever, a reminder of humanity's resilience and ingenuity. The alien girl gestured to the forest. Trees shifted slightly, and the ground seemed to respond to her presence. "The forest has judged and it accepts you. You may stay or continue your journey, but know this, you are now part of the balance here. Your courage and wisdom have earned respect." Alina knelt beside the girl. "We are honored," she said. "We have learned more than we could have imagined, and we will carry these lessons wherever we go." The alien girl smiled faintly. "Then go, humans, and remember who you are. You have faced the impossible, adapted, and prevailed. The universe will remember your kind, for you are not merely survivors, you are remarkable. The humans spent the remainder of the day in quiet reflection. They repaired minor damages, tended to the smaller creatures, and communicated silently with the alien girl and her beast. Each action reinforced the bond between humans and the alien inhabitants of the forest. Humans had not only survived, they had earned trust, respect, and a place in a world far beyond Earth. As night fell, the humans gathered for one final observation of the forest under the alien stars. The air was alive with sounds and energy, but it felt calm, balanced. The alien girl and her massive companion stood vigil, silent and watchful. Alina realized that humans, though small in number, had shown qualities that the universe often overlooked: intelligence, courage, empathy, and the ability to adapt and persevere under impossible odds. Alina's mind wandered to the journey ahead. Humanity had faced challenges that tested every aspect of their being, and they had passed. The galaxy was vast, and countless worlds awaited. But now they carried more than hope. They carried proof of what humanity could accomplish, even when underestimated. The alien girl approached one last time. "Remember this day, humans. Remember your courage, your choices, and your perseverance. You have shown that even when the odds are against you, you can rise above, not through destruction, but through intelligence, heart, and unity." Alina nodded. "We will never forget." The massive beast gave a low, approving growl. Its presence, once intimidating, now felt protective, a silent acknowledgement that humans had earned their place among beings capable of true greatness. The smaller creatures glowed softly, moving around the humans in silent celebration of their courage and wisdom. And as the humans prepared to leave the forest, to return to their starship and continue their journey across the galaxy, they knew they had proven something eternal. Humanity was not merely fragile or weak. Humanity was capable of remarkable feats, combining mind, heart, and courage in ways that even the universe had underestimated. Alina looked at the alien girl and the beast one last time. "Thank you," she said softly. The girl smiled faintly. "No, humans. Thank you for showing the universe what your kind can do. You have earned respect, trust, and admiration. Never forget it." As the humans boarded the Aurora, the forest seemed to whisper farewell. The alien girl waved, her golden eyes reflecting hope and confidence. The massive beast lowered its head one final time in acknowledgement. Humanity had survived the ultimate test, and they had emerged stronger, wiser, and more united than ever before. The ship lifted into the sky, leaving the forest behind. The humans gazed at the alien world, its lessons etched into their minds forever. They had faced superior forces, moral challenges, and the unknown, and had shown that intelligence, courage, empathy, and adaptability could conquer even the most daunting odds. Humanity, fragile in appearance but unyielding in spirit, had proven its worth. They had earned respect, not through domination, but through understanding, wisdom, and the courage to act rightly in the face of danger. And as the Aurora sailed into the stars, they knew that the universe had learned something it could not ignore. Humans were a force to be reckoned with, capable of greatness beyond expectation.